next episode of Hoarder House To Home. In this episode, we're talking about things that stink. So we've done a lot of work in the house to get rid of the old, disgusting smells that were present, including mold and poop and pee and everything else that was around in the house. We've sealed all the floors, walls, ceilings, everything with primer. And it did get rid of 98% of the smell. There's just a few places that the house still stinks. The main one being the basement. We'd really hoped that after the basement was waterproofed and disinfected, that would get rid of the smell down there. But unfortunately, some of the smell remains. So we're going to take some drastic measures to try to fix that. Also, in the upstairs of the house, there's just a few little areas that have some lingering strange odor. It's not necessarily a really bad odor, but it's just some odor that we want to get rid of. And I'm also going to take some drastic measures to get rid of that as well. So everybody remembers here in the utility room what it looked like. The floor was just a solid layer of dog poop and matted hair, and there was nothing left of the walls. They were rotted out just from being peed on so many times. So this was a really bad room, and we did cut out most of the drywall and the lower sections of the walls in here, and most of the floors replaced as well. But this is one area where there's just a little bit of lingering odor, especially in the closet over here. So I purchased a Ozone Generator, and this ran last night for about 3 hours in here, and it was supposed to just work in the closet, but when I came in to check on it, the whole house was full of the ozone. You could smell it, and it's not really safe to be in a building when an ozone generator is running because it kind of displaces the oxygen. It's hard on your lungs. And this is not an air cleaner. What it does is it just makes ozone, which attaches to the funk and gets rid of it. It oxidizes it. And I do have to say that with this running last night, it's just a kind of a neutral, clean smell is the only thing that's left over in here. So that was the primary thing. This closet still stunk a little bit. It's had a weird smell. I'm happy to say that now it's just kind of like a clean smell. It's hard to explain. It definitely doesn't stink like it did though. So this ran all last night down here in the basement, and while it does work on the air, it doesn't do anything for the stinky floor. So, but it did work wonders upstairs though. So down here in the basement, had to take a slightly different approach. We've scrubbed the floor multiple times. I personally have scrubbed the floor with bleach, with sodium hydroxide. It was like a Lysol, concentrated disinfectant, and it has worked for the most part in a lot of the areas, but since concrete is so porous, the smells that were down here have just completely permeated into the concrete and are having a real hard time getting it out. So I feel that the best course of action is going to be to go ahead and just etch the concrete, and then do an epoxy coating, a two-stage epoxy coating over the floor to seal it and effectively prevent any of that odor that's trapped in there from coming out. So I'll be trying this Rust-Oleum epoxy shield. Like I said, it's a two-part mixture, and any of the regular just floor paints really probably aren't going to be good enough, so I'm going to have to drop the coin and get something like this. And then I'm just going to start with the front half of the basement. So basically from the middle where the poles are forward. Well, hopefully I can get most of that done. It says it's for a 2.5 car garage. So I'm hoping to get from the wall over there, at least to the furnace. This seems to be the worst area and some of the worst staining. From the first video, there actually was piles of human waste in bags that just sat here and just permeated the concrete. And then this front wall, if you remember, every time it rained, the water would come in and sit here, and whatever is dead in that wall, maybe mice or whatever, would come through the wall and stink really bad every time. So, and then dry onto the floor. So this is the really offensive part of the basement. Don't get me wrong, it's not really horrible down here once it's dried out like this, but there's definitely still just a little bit of an odor, and we can't have that. I just started the mixing process on the epoxy paint. It says to do this for like 3 minutes. Then I have to let it set up for about a half hour. And then we can actually start painting the floor down here. Alright, so the 2.5 car garage kit didn't go quite as far as I would have liked. The stuff's kind of tricky to work with. It's really thick. Hard to get on the floor, and I wanted the roller wanted to pull it back off, but got confetti in it. So when it dries, it should look good. But it's not really about looks. It's all about function. Hopefully it takes care of our smell problem. I'll have to get some more and finish, especially at least this side of the basement over here, because this side over here doesn't stink and is probably going to be finished. So we'll decide later if we want to do the whole basement. All right, well, now that it's dry, I do think it has definitely helped seal the smell in. I stuck my nose down on the ground, did a little sniff test, and can't really smell anything. Just in the one spot, there's a hint coming through. So I think I'll do another coat right in the one spot, but besides that, I think we got it licked down here. Then upstairs, running the ozone generator did make quite a difference, especially in this room here. So overall, I'm pleased with the stinky house cleanup. All right, so overall, I think it was a successful mission to try to get a lot of this lingering odor out of the house. Now it's just a kind of a neutral drying paint smell that you'd find in like a new house. We're kind of actually winding down the whole project here. The only major things we have left to do is flooring in the kitchen, and then the whole interior of the house will be done. We should be getting flooring in here within the next couple of weeks. It'll have to sit and acclimate for a little while, and then we'll start putting it down. It's gonna be hardwood flooring throughout most of the house, and then after the flooring, the final thing we'll do will be the kitchen. Hopefully you're enjoying the series, Hoarder House to Home. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, Remember, you can always check the latest status of the house by going to our Facebook page. The links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.